1 minute. The time is now 6 o'clock.
Going to call the Planning Commission meeting for Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024 to order. Can we get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Richards. Alderperson Denham. Here. Commissioner Green. Commissioner Hillis.
Here.
Chairperson Groman.
Here.
Vice Chairperson Dieger.
Here.
Commissioner Lloyd.
Here.
Commissioner Martinowski.
Here.
Commissioner O'Day.
Here.
Commissioner Gore.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance Thank you. This is the time in our meeting where members of the public can speak regarding city business that the Planning Commission has jurisdiction or authority to take action on, which is not listed on the agenda for public hearing tonight. We ask that you be mindful of everybody's time and refrain from making comments that are repetitive. We ask the members of the public to please keep your comments to 5 minutes or less. Please state your name and whether you're a resident of the city of Branson. Do we have anybody who wants to speak public comment tonight?
No one has signed up for public comment tonight.
The next item on the agenda is the approval of the Planning Commission minutes for the March 5th, 2024 regular meeting. Has the commission had a chance to review the minutes? And are there any comments? I will now entertain a motion to approve the March 5th, 2024 meeting minutes.
So moved.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
May I have the vote?
Alderperson Denham.
Yes.
Commissioner Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Hillis.
Yes.
Chairperson Groman.
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Dieger.
Yes.
Commissioner Lloyd.
Yes.
Commissioner Martinowski.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Day.
Yes.
Commissioner Gore.
Yes.
The result of the vote is 9. Motion carries.
The first item on the public hearing is a request for a special use permit for a campground and vehicle park for the property located at 111 East Atlantic Street, Branson, Missouri. Can I get a motion to bring this to the floor?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
We'll now open it up for public hearing on this item. Would staff like to provide information on the item?
Yes, please. Okay, so Jennifer Thompson, Senior Planner here. We have a public hearing tonight for a request for a special use permit for a campground and vehicle park for the property located at 111 East Atlantic Street, Branson, Missouri. We've got the applicant owner here tonight representing David Greenberg on behalf of Full Throttle and Mr. Michael Ballard. So we'll get right into it. The existing conditions on this site, it's currently a vacant, unimproved parcel with an existing building on the western portion of the site, the former Morris Oil location. To the north, we have a vacant lot. To the south, we have a retail restaurant. To the west, a restaurant. East, across the train tracks, we got the Branson Landing. So Section 94-16 is our special use permit code and ordinances. So basically, it just states that a special use permit shall be required from the Planning Commission for any use listed as a special use in any zoning district. This property is zoned downtown, and this use requires a special use permit. We have some additional sketches that have been provided by the applicant. Each one has a little bit more detail to it. So you can see here, it's an RV campground. We have a decorative fencing on the east side. They're going to provide landscaping, plumbing, electrical, utilities, for each pole, for each site. We're going to have an improvement of a sidewalk on the south side. So there is a little bit of an environmental cleanup associated with this property, and I do believe the applicant is ready to speak on that this evening. But it was the Morris Oil property. It was used for fuel storage since around the 1930s. There was a petroleum fuel release that was noted back in 1998 when remediation was initiated. We have received from the applicant reports from Environmental Works and DNR, Department of Natural Resources, and from that paperwork, we found that there was a no further action letter issued in 2014. So there are some restrictions on the site, for example, for new residential construction, if they were digging into the ground, and there's another restriction for drinking water wells. So to go through some of the legal stuff, this is our neighborhood notice and our legal notice of public hearing published in the newspaper. We have some aerials that shows the site. We got the landing just to the east and Taney Como just to the east of that. Current zoning is downtown. Existing land use is vacant parcel. We do have utilities on the site, sewer and water. Got some orthometric maps that show different views from the north and the south, the east and the west. Our 2030 community plan designates this area as the downtown district. And so just to be a little bit clear, we have some additional conditions of approval that we've included in our resolution for this project. And we have our standard ones that are always in our resolutions. But one of them is a requirement that all the future development of the site shall be in accordance with the applicable city, state, and federal requirements. At the time, if they get approval this evening and they submit building permit, we would receive engineered plans that would show the turn radiuses and how this would all work on this site. We also have another condition of approval that everyone's in agreement with, but they are going to improve the alley to the north of this, the subject property to our current city's design standards. I don't know if you guys have been down it, but it's kind of half gravel, half potholes. It's in terrible shape, but they are going to improve that as part of this development. So with that, staff is recommending approval of the request, and we are happy to answer any questions you may have.
Does the applicant have anything that, any comments they want to make before we? Sure. Yeah.
Well, I'm Michael Ballard from the Full Throttle Saloon, and my partner, David Greenberg. Nice to meet you guys. We bought the property, and as Jennifer said, there was some problems with this property as far as building a structure on the property and disturbing the ground so deep. So they're very limited of what we could do with the land. And it's in pretty rough shape. I mean, it's I don't know if you guys have been over to see it or anything, but to me, it's kind of an eyesore for downtown too. And so we were limited in what we could do, how we could make some money out of the property that we bought. We bought the property mainly for the building that's up on top, which we are in the process of remodeling now and going through permits for that. But a campground, RV spots were one of the things that we thought would be great for this property. So we've done some research on that. And it's going to put more people downtown to spend more money, I think. It's great walking distance to the landing, to the restaurants downtown. One of the things that we are doing, we're going to be 2015 and up RVs on that site so that we don't get any older or type RV stuff in that area. We want to kind of keep it more of an upper scale area. that's one of the things that we want to get done, and the landscaping for it to clean that area up. And so we're just, and once we didn't want to go spend the money on all the engineering and architects, spend $40,000-$50,000 without getting the variance first, because if we don't get the variance, then we would have wasted the money. So we're here to get the variance tonight, and then after that, we'll go through and we'll meet all the city requirements and work through all the building departments, regulations, and make sure we meet code on everything that we're doing, whether it be ADA, sidewalks, to whatever it is we got to do to meet code with the town. And we're just here if you guys have any questions about anything to be able to answer anything you guys may have.
Any commissioners have any questions of either the applicant or Jennifer?
I just wanted to make a comment. Welcome to the city of Branson. And we look forward to this location being upgraded, and it needs to be beautified, you know, and I'm glad that something's going to be developed. So thank you for your submittal.
I appreciate that. Thank you, yes. I'm glad to be here. We're excited about Branson. We're investing a lot of money in town between the restaurant, what we're doing there, and this piece of property also. So, but we really like it here. So I only live about 6 hours from here. I'm in Tennessee. I'm about an hour out of Sykeston. So it's a pretty easy drive for me to come over. So I'll be in town a lot, and I'm excited about Branson. I bring my kids over here. We spend a lot of time, and this was a perfect place for us to do. This will be our, sixth location? Be our sixth location with the restaurant and distillery concept we've got. We got 2 in Colorado, 2 in South Dakota, 1 in Tennessee, and so this will be we're excited about being here.
So, Mr. Chairman, may I ask a question?
Sure, sir.
Now that you brought up the restaurant part, and it's on this property, on the west side of it, I guess, that where that existing building was? Or?
Not the restaurant. The restaurant's on Main Street, on the corner at the Caldwell Building, right next to the Hilton.
Oh, okay,
That's where the restaurant will be, yes.
okay,
This is a separate piece,
okay.
yeah.
So that preludes my question. I was gonna ask about how they.
Can you please speak into the mic?
On this property, but yeah, now that I understand the restaurant's not there. Okay.
Yes, sir, yes.
Any other commissioners have any questions?
I have a question. Now, in relationship to the depot as it sits now, where are we located? Because I tried to figure that out today.
Is that the building?
The train depot?
Or a block west.
South, actually.
Yeah, south.
Right next to the Momos, right behind Mr. G's, correct?
Right in front of the hotel, right? Right there.
So we're behind the Starbucks at the very end of the alley. If you didn't turn left, you drive right through the lot.
So how do you see that affecting the traffic that goes right beside the Starbucks and what people are now using the parking, especially in the Christmas season, to go to the train depot?
Well, I think that's something we'll work through with traffic, but we can come in on the alley on the far side of the property and exit the other side and go back out without having to come through Starbucks. So there's, I mean, it's almost like a loop road, a horseshoe-shaped loop road, if you will. We'll have the exit is kind of shoots the people back up the hillside, and they could turn right and go out of town and back to the interstate. Okay.
I guess what I'm trying to get at is it's not going to just be cornered in, one way out right there in the corner on the other side of Momo's, correct?
Yeah, so where we have it now, they have to exit, the angle they would exit down and come out and come up the hill to exit out. So, and then one of the things that we could do too is I haven't been over for like the Christmas parades, but there's times I've heard from other business owners that there's some stuff that happens downtown where there's a lot of people and functions going on. So we could block out that date and have overflow parking even on that lot. So maybe at Christmas we could be, yeah.
Yeah, and when we were speaking with Jennifer about this, what we're looking for right now is a variance on the RV lot, but we've also developed a schedule for this lot to make it almost into a flex space, that this space could be utilized not only by us, but maybe for special events for the city, whether it's parade staging, whether it's overflow parking during Plumnelly, maybe there's stalls for craft shows here. Basically, we're hoping to contribute to the benefit of downtown, understanding that there's limited parking and there's limited space for people to be able to gather. We thought that this lot might also come into play for that as well. So during Christmas, we could certainly see a section of this being blocked off.
Well,
for
and I
parking.
wasn't so much concerned talking about people using that as parking space. I just didn't want it, I was trying to make sure everything wasn't going to be cornered in at a particular time where people, I mean, if you're talking about RVs and so forth, trying to get in and out in that one location.
Yeah, and we're limited to, like, right now, what we're showing is about 19 spaces. We may end up smaller than that once we get the engineering done and the architectural done so that they got ways to maneuver. And then I'm sure we're gonna be limited to, some of the spaces probably be a 24-foot, and some may be a 40-foot. We're gonna, it'll be a mixture of the size of the RVs that'll be in that space, so.
Any other commissioners? Jennifer, I have a question. They're using the term variance. We're granting a special use. Can we clarify that, please?
That's true. It's a special use permit, yes.
It's not a variance.
It's not a variance, no.
Is that, any other?
Any other comments? Now's the opportunity for the public to speak on this. Anybody in the public who wants to speak, if you come up, we go ahead and get her done. Hearing none, I will close the public hearing and entertain a motion to approve the request for a special use permit for a campground and vehicle park for the property located at 111 East Atlantic Street, Branson, Missouri.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chair.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Can we have a roll call vote on it?
Alderperson Denham,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Hillis,
Yes.
Chairperson Groman,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Dieger,
Yes.
Commissioner Lloyd,
Yes.
Commissioner Martinowski,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Day,
Yes.
Commissioner Gore.
Yes.
Result of the vote is 9-0, motion carries.
The second item of the public hearing is a request for a special use permit for a Level 3 electric vehicle charging station for the property located at 215 West Main Street, Branson, Missouri. Can I get a motion to bring this item to the floor?
I'll bring the motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
We will now open the public hearing for this item. Would staff like to provide information on the item?
Yes, please. Okay, so tonight we have another request for a special use permit. This one is for a Level 3 electric vehicle charging station located at 215 West Main Street. It's the location of the Liberty Utilities offices. The applicant owner, Jocelyn Tidwell of Dynamic EVC LLC, on behalf of Liberty Utilities. I do believe we have yes, we have the master electrician here tonight in the audience for questions. So the existing conditions for this site there's a developed structure on the property, which is the Liberty Utilities building with the associated parking lot. To the north, there's commercial uses. To the south, commercial hotel. To the west, a hotel. To the east, commercial uses. So same situation, section 94-16 for a special use permit. A level 3 charging station in the downtown zoning district does require a special use permit. We have our neighborhood notice that went out and our legal that was in the paper. We've got some aerials here. So the current zoning is downtown. Existing land use is identified as utilities. The site does have utilities. Orthometric maps from the north and the south. the west and the east. Community Plan 2030 calls it out as the downtown district. So we do have some additional use and structure standards for electrical vehicle charging stations. And so we kind of categorize 3 different levels. We have level 1, level 2, level 3. So level 1 and 2 is permitted in most zoning districts, but level 3 is considered our rapid charging. It's based on higher amps and voltage. And that is called out as a special use permit in certain zoning districts, which is in the NC, Neighborhood Commercial, Mixed Use, Downtown, and Entertainment Zoning District. So one thing I'd like to mention here is that staff is kind of questioning why we require a special use permit for level 3 charging stations in these zoning districts. Not sure if maybe technology has just kind of caught up, or when our ordinances came into place, we may be bringing in a code amendment to you guys in the future to just have that be allowed by right, because there are standards that are associated with it that they have to meet. There's some images here on this site that would show the one on the far left corner. It just kind of shows what it would look like all set up in the parking lot. And then to the right, we have what the units would look like. So like I mentioned, we have standards that's required for the level 3, and we do have documentation from the applicant, some correspondence, and they have spoken to each of these of how they're going to meet them, or maybe it's not applicable to them, but we do have that documented. Here's a site plan that shows the layout of it. It's going to be on the eastern side of the building, and just 2 spaces. I believe they already have one out there right now. We'd have to maybe ask the gentleman that's here tonight if that's an older version or what that is. But with that, staff is recommending approval of this request, and we're happy to answer any questions.
Any commissioners have any questions for?
I did have a question. Right now, there is already one on that lot. I don't know if that's a level 1 or a level 2. Is that going to replace the one that's already there, or is that going beside it?
It's a level 2. It's not a level 3 charger. It doesn't charge as fast. It's going to stay on the property.
So there'll be 2 of them there?
Correct.
Sir, while you're there, is there any increased risk to the public from a level 3 charger as opposed to a 1 or a 2?
No, the level 3 is a higher amperage. It is 480, 277, but there's an emergency stop on all level 3 chargers. It's a big red button, lets you know, hey, it shuts everything down. So it's probably one more safer than a level 2 charger, because it's putting DC.
Can you please speak in the mic?
Yeah, it's putting DC into the car instead of AC, so it's a lot safer.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
This will not be open to the general public? Are you going to have signage?
Robin with Liberty Utilities will answer that.
Thank you. So the main purpose for both of these chargers actually are for our fleet. Branson's really on the kind of perimeter of our service territory, and as we're converting our fleet to electric, we need some fast chargers in Branson. I'll use myself as an example. I drove in from Joplin and couldn't drive the electric vehicle because there was no way to charge it to be able to get back. So its primary use is going to be for our fleet, recognizing that the parking lot is open to the public and that, we're not going to fence it off. So should the public want or need to use it, they'll be welcome to. They'll need a charge point card, which most EV drivers have, and there'll be fees associated with that if the public uses it. The commission requires that of us. We can't let them be free out there, but signage will indicate the cost.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Any commissioners?
Thank you.
Now is the opportunity for the public to comment on this request. Do we have any comments from the public? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing and entertain a motion to approve the request for a special use permit for Level 3 electrical vehicle charging station for the property located at 215 West Main Street, Branson, Missouri. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Can we have a roll call vote?
Alderperson Denham,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Hillis,
Yes.
Chairperson Groman,
Yes.
Chairperson Dieger,
Yes.
Commissioner Lloyd,
Yes.
Commissioner Martinowski,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Day,
Yes.
Commissioner Gore.
Yes.
Result of the vote is 9-0, motion carries.
Thank you. The third item in the public hearing is a request for municipal code amendments throughout Chapter 94, clarifying the exclusion of multifamily dwellings in the entertainment zoning district. Can I get a motion to bring this item to the floor?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Would staff like to provide information on this item?
Yes, sir. This is a request for municipal code amendment throughout Chapter 94, clarifying the exclusion of multifamily dwellings in the entertainment district. So this is just a little bit of a timeline. February 13th, we had a study session with the Board of Aldermen. An impact analysis was presented to identify strategies for facilitating versatile housing solutions and development opportunities, encouraging economic growth. Concerns were expressed by the board regarding the development of multifamily dwellings in the entertainment district. On February 27th, we had the Board of Aldermen regular meeting. The board took a proactive approach to address concerns raised during the study session, and a moratorium was put into place. The resolution aimed to place a temporary hold on specific developments, such as multifamily dwellings within the entertainment district. March 16th, a notice of public hearing was published. Let me go back, sorry. Tonight, the Planning and Zoning Commission is hosting a public hearing regarding multifamily housing in the entertainment district. So here you'll see, April 23rd, the Planning and Zoning Commission will make a preliminary report to the Board of Aldermen, with the final report going to before the Board of Aldermen on May 14th. This ensures that we remain aligned with the resolution before the moratorium deadline, which is on May 27th. Due to the Lodging Safety Initiative, there's been a surge in interest in converting motel hotels into multifamily dwellings, and inquiries primarily focus on unlicensed extended stay establishments with code violations. Current zoning issues that we are faced with is the entertainment district has no density requirements. There's several benefits for converting a failing hotel motel into multifamily dwellings. Some of those are no annual lodging establishment inspections, no city lodging permit, no county health inspection, no state inspection, no lodging license with the state, and no lodging tax. The Planning and Development Department has identified criteria that must be met in current code to allow for successful conversions. The existing structure must be within a zoning district that permits multifamily developments, and the existing structure must meet current density requirements. Here you'll see that existing code does not provide dimensional standards for the entertainment district. Every other district allowing for multifamily provides dimensional standards, including density requirements. This next slide shows you the dimensional standards and density requirements that we have for multifamily. If you note, the entertainment district has no dimensional standards and no density requirements. Next, we have a couple of examples of multifamily dwelling units that meet density requirements and one that does not meet density requirements. These are the examples used in the study session. This particular property is located southwest of 76 Country Boulevard, zoned high-density residential. The allowed density is 12 to 24 dwelling units an acre. It currently has 15 dwelling units. Here at the bottom, we have some statistics that were ran. The police report showed 88 entries, and the police 49, and fire at 33. Here's a property that exceeds density requirements. It's located just north of 76 Country Boulevard and zoned community commercial. The allowed density here is 12 to 24 dwelling units, and the existing density is 46.76 dwelling units an acre. If you notice the difference in the police reports, it's quite substantially different. We have 776 CAD entries, 531 police, and 174 in fire. Next, we have a visual showing the lodging establishments along the 76 corridor. In orange here, you'll see that these are, what this picture actually doesn't show is those operating without a license or those not in operation. These are just current lodging establishments along the 76 corridor. The first code amendment, staff is proposing striking through the building type for multifamily dwelling from the entertainment district. Code Amendment 2 is going to indicate multifamily use is prohibited in the entertainment district. Here you'll notice that the purpose of the entertainment district in Branson is to safeguard and elevate the city's main entertainment hub, which plays a pivotal role as a major tourist attraction, an economic engine, and entry point into the community. The focus of the district is on enhancing the visitor experience and overall function of the corridor. Code Amendment 2 is to prohibit multifamily use in that district. Last, we have Code Amendment 3 would be striking through the multifamily as an allowed use in the entertainment district in the table of permitted uses. Staff supports the proposed municipal code amendments throughout Chapter 94, clarifying the exclusion of multifamily dwelling units in the entertainment zoning district. Happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any of the commissioners have any questions?
I do. And I'm going to preface it by saying I'm always been very concerned about the transition of motel units into family, longer-term living facilities. And so re-enlighten me, have we finally stopped converting a single motel room into long-term living?
I think that, I don't know that I can say that we've stopped that. We are trying to eliminate that in the entertainment district. There is a lot of different processes to conversion. We're finding that a lot of those cannot meet even your basic code requirements. So therefore, they would have to be able to meet all of those current code requirements prior to any type of conversion. They would still have to go through the Planning and Development Department with an application for a change of use. But we are looking at the codes currently, trying to restrict that just falling into certain areas of the city. Holly would like to say something.
I can clarify that this was the only district that didn't have maximum amounts. So we didn't have a density requirement for the entertainment district. We do have the max amount of 24 per acre in all of our other allowable districts.
So a follow-up comment on that density, if you had a small building that had a lot of, and probably existing or had a need for motel units, but it was on a big lot, so the density would meet that requirement, but the square footage would not be met for a living facility, long-term living facility. That's what I think we need to address possibly.
Okay. I will definitely take notes, and I'll follow up with you offline with some options that we might have to move that forward.
In terms of our action tonight, we're talking about excluding multifamily dwellings from the entertainment.
That is correct, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair? Yes, sir. How many do we currently have in the entertainment district as it sits now? And what
So-
will happen with those?
I don't know that I can speak on exactly how many are currently there. I can speak on, prior to the moratorium, we had 3 applications in the system, and those 3 are allowed to go ahead and continue with their development. I will make a note, though, and see if I can get you a little bit more information on how many currently exist.
As to the legal ramifications, those which do exist, anytime you make a change to the ordinances, then it becomes a legal nonconforming use, assuming it meets all the requirements of a legal use. So it has to be legal and proper at the time to be able to be a legal nonconforming use.
Any other questions from the commissioners? Would anyone from the public like to comment on this issue? Hearing none, I will close the public hearing and entertain a motion to approve the request for municipal code amendments throughout Chapter 94, clarifying the exclusion of multifamily dwellings in the entertainment zoning district. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second?
I'll now call for a vote.
Alderperson Denham,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Hillis,
Yes.
Chairperson Groman. Yes. Vice Chairperson Dieger,
Yes.
Commissioner Lloyd,
Yes.
Commissioner Martinoski,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Day,
Yes.
Commissioner Gore.
Yes.
Result of the vote, 9 yea, 0 nay. The motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This concludes the public hearings for tonight's agenda. Now we'll move on to reports. Staff, do you have any reports?
I think really the only staff report we have is just a reminder about elections coming up for your commission board. We're trying to get the appointments, if those that are going to be retiring out of here, if they want to reapply, please do so. There's an online form on our city's website, and we would encourage you to do that until the end of April. And then I believe at the end of April, the clerks will be processing those applications. I think it's tentatively on the May 14th council meeting for that appointment. So then the first meeting in June, we will be doing vice chair and chair elections. And the last thing is that we will have a May Planning Commission meeting, so if you can please anticipate that. Thank you.
Any reports from the commissioners? Yes, sir.
I'm going to go back to my comments earlier. I would encourage this board and our city staff to try to do something to stop motel units being family living facilities. We need to at least make them large enough so that they can accommodate a family and not just a motel room converted over for the landowners'
Okay.
purpose.
We'll look into that and provide some information to you next meeting.
Anybody else? I would ask that we continue action to try to remove the special use permit for those 3 things. They're no more dangerous than the 1 or the 2s, and we ought to be consistent.
Okay. We'll get on that.
The next item on the agenda would be adjournment. Our next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, May 7th at 6 PM in the council chambers. I will now entertain a motion to adjourn the April 2nd, 2024 Planning Commission meeting. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
We perform a roll call vote, and
Alderperson Denham,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Hillis,
Yes.
Chairperson Groman,
yes.
Vice Chairperson Dieger,
Yes.
Commissioner Lloyd,
Yes.
Commissioner Martinowski,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Day,
Yes.
Commissioner Gore.
Yes.
We have, result of the vote is 9 yea, 0 nay. The motion's carried.